extra excitement this week? How you playing your brother?
Yeah, excitement of the big game, and mainly that's. I'm sure my brother looks at it the same way I do. I mean, same way our family does. This is, it's about the two teams. It's about those that are coaching and those that are playing, and sure he doesn't want to make it about him. I don't want to make it about me. I mean, it is what it is. Two big game for sure, and two teams having at it.
Any special symbolism or just timing on the calendar in any way this game's going to take place on, I think it's your parents' wedding anniversary?
Uh-huh.
Just anything special just you two playing on that day?
Yeah, that's really cool. Parents, rightfully so, picked my sister Joni to go to Thanksgiving this year. So they'll be down in Bradenton, Florida.
Jim, John went on a podcast not too long ago and talked about how you beat him up pretty badly on a vacation or something like that, and you guys fought all the time growing up, and you beat him up pretty badly, and you had that over him for a while, and then the Super Bowl game, he had beaten you, and then he had felt like he had finally had something over you after that win. Do you think about stuff like that? Do you even remember that fight on the beach or whatever?
We never really had a fight. I mean, a lot of wrestling though.
Do you count those? Did you count it as a win? Did you think about it as him having that win over you or anything like that?
The Super Bowl?
Yeah, Super Bowl.
Yeah, I mean, it's I do think that, and at time that was tough. It was tough, but after some time and reflection went by, it's my brother, it's my best friend. Really proud of him. Really happy for his success. I mean, it was earned. I mean, we played really good, but yeah, I mean, with some time after, then that was my perspective. It's my brother. Proud of him.
On Sunday, you said you was wanting to focus on the win, but you would start thinking about not only the matchup with the Ravens, which is a big one Monday night game, but also you facing your brother. Did you think about any excitement behind that, or how do you feel overall? I know it's a big game overall, but how do you feel about going up against your brother again?
It's really just about, it's what I said after the game was, I mean, exactly true. After every game that, we play, I'm thinking about that game that we just played, and I want to enjoy it. I want to enjoy it, and it's always like about six hours or so after the game, and then that great feeling, wonderful feeling of winning, thrill of victory. Then it turns to the next opponent, and it did. It did the same after the Bengals game for this week to the opponent. So you start thinking about the team, you start watching them, and been watching the Ravens for a long time, and the tape showed the same thing of just nothing but respect for their team.
Oh, and one follow up on you.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay. How often during the season do you and your brother communicate, and how do you guys communicate?
Call or text.
Like weekly?
Yeah,
Daily?
at least not daily, weekly, couple times.
Change this week?
We've texted each other like we have other weeks, and wished him a good week. He wished me a good week, and that's. Now we're focusing on the game.
And then beyond you and your brother, obviously there are several of your staff members who have experience in Baltimore. Several of your players who have experience there as well.
Yeah.
I know a lot of the times people say the game's the game, and afterwards you hear, oh, that meant something more. Like, how do you keep everything in focus, and then afterwards, potentially celebrate it?
Yeah, many of the guys, I think they feel the same way I do, and my brother does, and my family does. I mean, it's about all the people that are playing in the game. All the coaches, everybody in the organization, and and especially those that are playing in the game. It's about them. That's the way I think our guys feel.
What do you remember about that Super Bowl, other than the lights going on? That was the one, right, in New Orleans, when the lights went out and it belonged to the
Yeah. It was great. I mean, tremendous competition at the highest level. Two teams that played their hearts out.
When you talked about there was a time period to talk to your brother or whatever, to get back with your brother and you love him and stuff like that. Was there like an awkwardness after or anything like that after the game in your relationship with him?
No, nothing awkward. Just, pardon?
You guys are still the same, like no.
Best friends. Yeah, nobody could have a better brother. Maybe biased in that way, but yeah, really love my brother, best friends. Proud of him.
Speaking of your best friend, what would you say you growing up together do you admire the most about John?
That he puts God first, and he's just a great example setter. Great. He's a great son. He's a great husband. He's a great father, and great brother. And he's great at what he does. One of the most, if not one of the most competitive people. The most, if not one of the most competitive people that I know, and learned so much from him, and admire him.
What do you admire about him as a coach?
His competitiveness, his toughness. It's always in his teams. The way he just makes you, pulls it out of you. As iron sharpens iron, as the Bible would say. That resonates.
Jim, Justin's been really successful this season throwing the ball downfield. What do you think has enabled that success for him to take another jump there?
Do I think it'll take another jump?
Well, what do you think has enabled him to be great in that scenario now? I think the stats is number one in the league right now with completions and touchdowns, 20+ yards.
Yeah. His talent, the effort that he puts in, everything that you could say good about a quarterback, and then some. It's talent and effort, and then some. Then just intangibles that are off the chart. Every measurable you could have for a quarterback, tangible or intangible. He possesses, at the elite highest level. And then there's a drive there that he has that's been poured into him by Mark and Holly Herbert. That is, they should write a book. Amazing. And then he's a perfectionist in the best kind of way too, which I think gets revealed in his drive, and the other cool thing about Justin is it's not for his glorification. It's for the team. It's for his family. It's for his family at work, his family at home, and he loves, and is happy for the other guy's success, like never seen before. No eye has seen, no ear has heard. What that is like with him. Think of the big man on campus analogy. He's the opposite, and on and on. I could go. It's like being around greatness every day.
Did he show anything more in terms of his resilience or being able to take things in stride? Because before that game-winning drive, he had a stretch where he was completed 2 of 12 passes, and then to come out on that final drive and with 2 big completions and
Yeah, I think it's it's just been consistently great. And the stats reveal that. Love that he just set the record for the most pass attempts without an interception in Chargers history. Whose record did he break? His own. At crunch time, when our best is needed, when his best was needed most, he delivered and gave it his best. 45 seconds and from the 16-yard line. I would have put myself back in those shoes. I'd have been playing kind of, conservative. Not him. It's pushing the ball downfield and making the amazing throws. He had one early in the game to Quentin. You talk about one over the linebackers and in front of the corners. It was just a thing to marvel. And several others. But it's what he's done, Like to your question, how is Justin, that's what he's been doing his entire career. He has the most completions of any quarterback in the history of the National Football League in their first 5 seasons. He has the most fourth quarter comebacks, in that time span of any quarterback in the NFL. So it is what it is. Enjoy it. He's not only one of the best in the game currently. He's one of the best of all time. I do not think I'm going out on a what do they call it, on a ledge, on a limb. I do not feel at all like I'm going out on a limb and saying that.
With Lamar Jackson, I know you mentioned earlier this week that you've seen him up close, but
Yeah.
what kind of challenge is he to have to defend? And up close, what have you seen that makes him so great?
He's great. He's at the highest level. He's right there with Justin. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the game currently. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the history of the National Football League. They are. I would be like those two looking in the mirror when it comes to, competitiveness and doing anything and everything for their team. Mirror images.
How much more potent and lethal is that offense though when you have a Derrick Henry?
Derrick's been outstanding. Was a great pickup for the Ravens. Adds toughness, adds physicality, adds a lot to the team, and it's a complete team. They're great talent at all levels. The defense I think is really great. One of the great run wall, consistently great, and their pass defense. It looked really good against Pittsburgh. I think they shored up some things there, and it looks like nothing but respect.
You mentioned on Monday just with Burrow, Chase, and Higgins that you can't stop them. You just have to sort of battle,
Contain.
Is it
Attempt to. Yeah,
right?
Attempt.
Is it the same sort of approach with Lamar?
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Yeah, that's. I would not argue with you on that one. Only agree.
Okay, great. With Kuna and the way he's playing right now, really.
Happy birthday, Puna. Had a birthday yesterday.
At what point, when you guys signed him during free agency, at what point did you realize that he was going to be capable of playing at this level, both as a run defender and pass rusher?
Early. You're seeing great signs. You're seeing how he's working. You're seeing quickness. You're seeing just how potentially how good it could be, but not until you get the pads on, and then pretty right when we got the pads on. You're seeing the same thing. It's confirming, what you saw. So somewhere in August.
Jesse talked about, you could sense a level of motivation with him as soon as he got in the building. Did you experience that with him, that you just felt like, okay, this is going to be an extremely motivated player with something to prove?
Yeah, I did. And by what he did, he's the kind of player that does. It's a great example. He is. I don't want to term it any other way than that. I mean, it's all what he's doing, whether that's in the meeting environment, the training environment, practice environment, game environment. And he's all about his business and doing his job at a really high level.
Jim, do you have any update on Khalil Mack and his return?
We'll see. We first day on the practice field today.
Anything new with Asante?
No, not that I've heard.
Cam Hart, you have to.
In the concussion protocol.
Jim, anything that you make of having back-to-back games in prime time?
No, nothing to make of it really. They're exciting though. We like like prime time. Always thought that. It's like tonight's going to be a good night. It has that Black Eyed Peas kind of feel. That's always the kind of feeling. Like got my friends are with me, and we're going to go out. Let's make it a great night.
Black Eyed Peas guy, okay.
Who isn't, right?
Jim, you talked a lot about the lessons that your dad has taught you over the course of you and John.
Yeah.
When it comes to leadership specifically, what's the most important lesson that he taught you and John? Your dad?
It's such a long list. That would be such a long list. That would be really hard to put a number one on it. But definitely. Maybe the lesson that kind of encapsulates them all is, there's another one that is just jumped into my head, but just that it's 1,000 little things that add up to make all the difference, and a lot of times it'll be what some people think is the minutia or the little things, but it's those 1,000 little things that add up to make all the difference. And I'll let him tell the story because he tells it so much better about his first class at Bowling Green when Dwight Perry, who was teaching a class on coaching and it was mostly football players that were in the class, and he said the 3 most important things to living a happy life, and he went in descending order. He said, number 3, pick a profession that you love. Number 2, outwork your opponent. And then there's a good humor in that where he says that Dwight Perry said, and I recruited all of you guys, you better outwork them because none of you are going to outsmart them. And then number 1, with a drum roll, marry wisely.
Jim,
You got to smile at some people here. That's he tells the story better.
You're hoping for a payoff there?
with you being one of the ultimate competitors and with your competitive drive, does it gnaw or eat at you in any way that John's up on you 2-0?
Yeah, I mean, there's probably two parts to that. The ultimate competitor, no. You're not. it's only the players that can be ultimate competitors in my mind. They're the ones that are actually on the field. Coaching is, you're an advice giver. So the way you phrased the question, would lead you to, if I agree with that, I'm agreeing that I once was, there was a time. And the other side of that is, there was a, walking off the field at that Super Bowl, was like, there'll be another day, and then there wasn't, for many years, and looked like that day, wouldn't have a chance for another day, but by the grace of God, I put them all the way up, back in it, and back on a team that has a chance to do that. So I'm very thankful. That would be that's how I feel.
Just showing the teamwork with you and John and your dad. The ultimate accomplishment, you two teaming up at Western Kentucky to help him save that football program, because I think you, to help recruit and everything while you were still playing, took the NCAA coaches exam and everything to help out.
Yeah, that was, one of my great loves and joys of our life when working with my brother and my dad on that, and like I said at the beginning, we just, hopefully you can respect that we really just want to keep this game about the guys that are playing in it, and respectful of that and the game itself. But you can definitely get me talking about all those, all the things about my family. There's, my gratitude and appreciation for my family is it's beyond words.
Coach, how do you feel the group dealing with the success, the current 4 in a row? Some of these guys never won 4 in a row before, some did a long time ago.
Yeah.
How is it, how they are absorbing all this?
It's been earned, not given. And our guys, they're competitive people. They want to be good at what they do, and that can be a great motivator. Here's a little taste, but there's more. There's more. If that's something that drives you to be the best, to have to get to the top of the mountain, that gene is in you, then that kind of success can fuel you. It can be like an attaboy. The other side of that coin is I can just go back to what my college coach, Bo Schembechler, used to say, and Gary Moeller, who was the defensive coordinator. He would say, when people are giving you accolades and compliments and telling you you've arrived, that kick them in the shins. You kick them right in the shins. That's what you do. And those accolades could come from, people you don't know, could come from the media, could come from your teammates, could come from friends, could come from your own family. They're trying to make you soft. Kick them in the shins. So 2 ways I look at that.